Greetings survivors and friends, Shadowfrax here, back with yet another selection of sexy Rust plugins to spice up your server, and today the theme is events. I remember a time when the most exciting event in Rust was accidentally spilling your gin and tonic on the keyboard, but now it seems you can't go 5 yards without a locked crate or an angry mob of scientists getting up in your grill and demanding you take part in something. But still, we want more, you say. Well, here's a selection of some of my favourite event plugins, and just so you know, I'm not getting anything for mentioning any of these. This is all off my own back. You'll find all of the details and links in the description, of course, and if you enjoyed this vid in any way, please consider leaving me a like and subbing to the channel. Okay, so a lot of people loved the Convoy event plugin I showed a couple of vids back, but you ask, couldn't we have something like that on Rails now? What with above ground trains being here and such? Well, you know how it goes. You wait for a train for ages, then 2 of the damn things turn up at once, and there are, in fact, now 2 new plugins to choose from that do that very thing. The first is by the same chap who made the Convoy plugin, actually, Adem, and it's called Armoured Train. This plugin adds an Armoured Train event to your server, which can be made to travel on above or below ground rails with custom spawn points if you wish. The number, type of wagons, onboard loot, etc. is totally configurable, as well as the speed it travels at and how often the event happens. Trains can be protected by as many or as few NPCs, turrets, SAM sites, and even Bradley turrets as you like, and just like the road convoy, it can be accompanied by a heli. When it starts, there'll be a notification in chat, and then anyone who wants to take it on will need to destroy the turrets, NPCs, etc., and can make the train stop by pulling the big lever on the work cart marked "Do Not Pull" before they can access any of the loot. Alternatively, there is another new plugin called Train Heist by KillYou, and this one does the same basic things with a couple of exceptions, but it is a bit cheaper. The train layout can also be completely configured, with the exception of stuff like the Bradley turrets. The train will actively avoid obstructions on the tracks by choosing branches, and can even change direction if it needs to, but it won't work unless you have an above ground loop and you can't set any custom spawn points. It'll merely try to spawn as far away from players and other trains as it can. Like the previous plugin, when it starts, there'll be an announcement in chat. Players can then attack it to take out its defences. It can be slowed down by damaging it or completely stopped by taking out the driver, if configured to do so. Helicopters can also be made to turn up to defend the cargo, and it can be set to self-destruct after all crates have been hacked. Now, you probably noticed something happening with one of the wagons here as well, which appears to be carrying a shipping container. And this is actually to do with the next plugin I want to mention. This is Dropship by Blow. It's brand new, and what it does is add lootable custom shipping container spawns with custom loot tables to your server. And these can be made to spawn in a variety of ways, one of which being on flat train wagons. Hence, one can be added quite nicely to the Train Heist event if you like, and I was quite surprised to see how it slots almost perfectly between these 2 turrets on the default spawn settings. Anyway, there are a few other events to make them appear if you like. In the harbour, a container can spawn and fall from one of the crates. They can be set to randomly spawn floating in the ocean around the edge of the map, and when the cargo ship's doing its rounds, they can even be set to fall overboard and drift slowly into land. All players have to do then is wander up to one and open it to grab whatever range of loot you've decided to stuff them with. And as a note, the containers will start sinking in the water once opened. However, this particular plugin also comes with a bonus feature. It's now possible to pick up and drop shipping containers with scrappies and minis using the right mouse button. Quite handy for grabbing them and taking them back to base. Not only, but also, it's totally possible, if you wish, to let players pick up and drop other things, such as cars, boats, horses, and even other helicopters. Now children, pay attention, this is how minicopters are made. Okay, so back to the containers falling off the ship. How often have you wanted to actually sink the damn thing instead, Well, hold that thought, and I'll get to it in a jiffy. But first, ever worried that somewhere, somehow, scientists are watching your every move? Perhaps you're only being paranoid, or maybe that's just what they want you to think. Whatever the case, to be on the safe side, you need a VPN. More specifically, NordVPN. A VPN, or virtual private network, lovingly takes care of your internet traffic, encrypts it, and hides its contents from the prying eyes of scientists, or worse. Not only, but also, it lets you choose where you want to appear to be in the world and access content that would normally be denied to you. Fancy a bit of premium content from another continent? You have my permission. Want to be known as Billy from Chile? Knock yourself out. Choose from over 5,500 superfast servers in 60 countries from wherever you're based, even if it's over in this general area. You can use it on PC, Mac, Android, iOS, Chrome, and probably even an electric toothbrush. It works whilst you're out and about, comes with a cybersecurity suite, an ad blocker, and can be used on up to 6 devices simultaneously with unlimited bandwidth. Most importantly, right now, not only can you get a 2-year plan with a huge discount plus 1 additional month free, but also some great deals on bundles with Nord's other software, all by using my link down below or with code Shadowfrax. And back to the video. So the cargo ship turns up and you know you're in for another boring, predictable boat trip around the island. But what if you could kick things up by a titanic notch and totally scupper those scientists' plans for the day? Introducing Sinkable Cargo Ship, also by Kill You, a simple event plugin that's been around for a while and which will apply to all cargo ships that spawn, adding 3 weak points on board where you can place explosives to sink them. To do the thing, you'll need 3 C4, although this can be adjusted up or down, and you'll need to conduct a search of the ship to find the weak points that look like this and are randomized between 12 different places. Simply chuck an explosive on each one, and then once they're all placed, you have 30 seconds to evacuate. The ensuing tragedy will kill any scientists still on board and cause all loot to float to the top, including anything that was in hackable crates. You can then just hoover it up from the water's surface. Now, even though efforts have been made to make it more attractive, the words junkyard and amazing are used in the same sentence about as often as snail and sound barrier. At best, it's still an average monument. Well, it's time to reevaluate because here comes Junkyard Event, and this adds an automagic event to make your junkyard great again. The event begins with a notification in chat that soon the rubbish men will arrive at the junkyard, and when you get there, you'll find said rubbish men hanging about, who have apparently hidden a supply signal grenade in one of the shreddable cars. As you do. Once you've dealt with them, your job will be to recycle the cars one by one until you find the special one, which will call in an airdrop to the junkyard. But this is not an ordinary airdrop, oh no. Rather, it's a camper van module. What's the use of that, you ask? Well, hold on, because when it lands, more guards will spill out of it and will need to be taken out of the equation before you can proceed. Even then, you won't be able to open it and get the loot. Not in the conventional way, of course, and yes, you've guessed it. You'll need to recycle it to get the goodies. This is all filmed on default settings, but you can tweak everything, including NPCs and loot in the config. Right, 2 more, and these events both affect everyone. First of all, this is Earthquake, which does exactly what it sounds like it should, and that can be configured to happen automatically at random or started manually by admins at the most inconvenient times. Earthquakes come in several intensities, mild, medium, and intense, with accompanying sound effects and wobble, and with the last one, you'll be wishing you were living intense, because as well as a chance to damage players, it can also cause structural damage to bases. On lower intensities, there's a mild chance to injure players, but apart from that, the main annoyance is not being able to aim straight, although this might actually help some people. This can all be tweaked in the config, of course, and this plugin can also be used as a good pre-wipe event to really set the tone for what's to come. Which brings me to the last event of the day, a completely free one from Razor on UMod that's been around for a while but that lets server owners wipe with a bang. This is Nuke Wipe, which when triggered will give a 20-second warning of a nuclear explosion. Not generally considered enough notice for survival unless you happen to be right next to a lead-lined fridge, after which everyone's base explodes, all the players explode, and anyone still crawling around gets a colossal dose of radiation. A lovely end to a wipe, methinks. The only thing missing being the mushroom cloud, but then this isn't Fallout 76. Let me know what you think to this little selection, please. Which ones were your favourite, and have you used any of these on your server? If so, what did you think of them? As per, you will find links to all of them below, and always on the lookout for new ones that are worthy of including in a vid, so please let me know if I'm missing out. You can catch me streaming on Twitch, keep up to date with my content on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and my Steam group, and support the channel directly either through YouTube memberships, via Patreon, or my merch store. All the links are below. I shall catch you all very soon, but in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio. This video is powered by AWDIT's producer range of workstation PCs, available now at awdit.co.uk. Now children, pay attention. This is how minicopters are made.